My name's Bridget Bowen. Progress Texas produces the content that we need to see in Texas in a way that's easy to digest for folks, no matter the age, no matter the social media platform. We've got a new opportunity for a path forward, and I'm excited to be a part of it with all of y'all.
It's Tuesday, June 9th, 2026, and this is the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch, rapid response on the breaking news stories Texas progressives need to know. I'm Chris Mosier. Progress Texas amplifies progressive values, leaders, and actions through our No Paywall podcasts and digital media. We make Texas politics easy to understand and to participate in. And your support for fact-based independent media hands the mic to millions of Texans. Huge thanks to Eve Myers, Sarah Slayman, and Laura Kehoe for their ongoing sustaining support. AI data centers, the threat they pose to everyday life in Texas, and the massive tax break handouts they've weaseled out of our state government are rapidly becoming a central political issue as we close in on the November midterm election. What amounts to a tech cartel invasion has befallen Texas, exploiting our resources and draining our public coffers while leaving working-class Texans to foot the bill. Paul Kobler at the Texas Tribune reveals that our state is now set to lose out on at least $3.2 billion in sales tax revenue over just the next 2 years, thanks to tax breaks data center developers enjoy in our business-friendly environment. This egregious example of corporate welfare is already one of Texas's most expensive incentive programs and will soon rank as the most expensive of its kind in the entire country. It started under $30 million annually, but it's ballooned along with the data center boom to an astonishing $1.3 billion just this year. All to pay for facilities that a rapidly growing number of Texans don't even want set up here. Crunching the math a little, these billions in public funds being surrendered to tech billionaires could fully finance our state's public school infrastructure, or perhaps double the state's disaster fund in an age of escalating climate-induced flooding. Instead, we subsidize operations that serve corporate profits while creating almost no long-term jobs, draining already parched water sources, straining our teetering power grid, heating up their already hot local environments, and making all kinds of god-awful noise. Claire Howe at the Houston Chronicle provides a map showing massive concentrations of data center projects around the Dallas, Austin, Houston, and Permian Basin regions. And that's only the beginning. While Texas currently hosts over 300 data centers, tech companies have flooded ERCOT with over 480 requests for large facilities to be built through 2032. Collectively, these speculative projects are demanding an astronomical 418 gigawatts of electricity. That's nearly 5 times the entire grid's all-time peak demand during the record-breaking 2023 summer heat wave. And as we've reported, ERCOT officials have lately made changes to their approval process that will fast-track the biggest of these proposals. While Texans of all political persuasions are starting to wake up to this nightmare invasion, the fight back is getting a late and labored start. The industry is expanding aggressively into rural areas and unincorporated territory across Texas, exploiting the fact that county governments lack the regulatory zoning teeth to block them. Taylor Goldenstein at the Texas Tribune reports on Hill County, south of DFW, which tried to take the lead on resisting by passing a temporary moratorium to halt data center development, but a developer there successfully used the legal system to bully them, suing for $100 million and forcing Hill County to rescind their freeze. Those Hill County data projects are now proceeding apace. Dick Levine, Progress Texas board member and a former fiscal analyst for Every Texan, says there are many reasons why a given company might decide to build in a particular area, quote, and taxes is far from the most important. Somebody's giving out money, but it's not really how decisions are made, especially when there's bedrock things like land and energy that are much more important than their tax rate, unquote. Resistance isn't futile here. This confluence of looming data center-related disasters, from financial to environmental, is gaining attention across the political spectrum, and grassroots movements in cities like San Marcos and Waco are actively organizing to block these exploitative projects. As public anger mounts over corporate exploitation of our land, water, and energy, Texas lawmakers are starting to feel the pressure, but whether that political pain is building quickly enough or not remains to be seen. We're scheduled to talk today with Clayton Tucker, Democratic nominee for Texas Agriculture Commissioner, who's been sounding this alarm loudly on the campaign trail. We'll also talk New World screwworms with Clayton, as 3 more confirmed cases have been reported, bringing the total to 5, now in animals beyond cattle, indicating a potential full-scale infestation across Texas. Watch for that talk with Clayton Tucker on this feed over the next few days. To the Tallarico-Paxton race and a major high-profile defection from Team Paxton, as one of his longtime lawyers has switched to Team Tallarico. Dan Cogdell has become an internet celebrity in his own right with his folksy but generally solid bits of legal advice delivered regularly via social media. Gabby Birnbaum at the Texas Tribune says Cogdell's defection is very personal. Dan Cogdell defended Ken Paxton in both his long-running felony securities fraud case and his 2023 impeachment, and in endorsing Paxton's opponents signals that the AG's extensive ethical baggage and history of corruption have begun to alienate even his closest allies. Phineas Swai at The Hill adds that Cogdell has not only worked as a defense attorney for Ken Paxton for 9 years, he's also raised and donated a lot of money on Paxton's behalf, including a $6,500 personal check just last year, but has now come to understand that Texas is suffering under GOP dominance. Quote, Republicans have had control of Texas for 30 years. Enough is enough. We are last in the country in health care, bottom for education, first in school shootings, first and most uninsured. We're in a war we shouldn't be in. Gas is so expensive, I literally can't fill up my truck because most pumps shut off at $125, and at over $5 a gallon, that's not even a full tank, unquote. In an interview with James Tallarico on his podcast, Cogdell stated plainly that his former client, Ken Paxton, has, quote, lost sight of his core mission, unquote, to serve the people of Texas, which really gets to the heart of Ken Paxton's failings in a way that anyone can easily understand. I've found Dan Cogdell to be a little difficult to decode politically from his content, but he's definitely the type that disaffected Republicans will at least give the benefit of the doubt. Pretty major score for Team Tallarico. Speaking of scores, your San Antonio Spurs pulled out a win last night in Game 3 of the NBA Finals as President Donald Trump proved every bit the party pooper New York Knicks fans feared he might be. Santal Nurkar at the New York Times says the spoiled vibes at the game proved that Trump remains a uniquely disruptive force capable of ruining even the most unified local celebrations. Making a calculated, high-profile appearance at Madison Square Garden as the guest of deeply unpopular Knicks owner James Dolan, Trump managed to transform a moment of pure civic joy for the Big Apple into a logistical nightmare for ordinary working New Yorkers looking to back their home team. Due to the heavy security footprint surrounding Trump and his entourage of loyalist lackey cabinet officials, dedicated fans faced airport-style security lines that stretched over an hour, and local authorities were forced by the Secret Service to cancel the massive public watch party that had been planned to be held outside Madison Square Garden entirely, changing a hometown celebration into an elite first access situation. Knicks and Spurs fans alike inside the arena greeted Trump's face on the Jumbotron, even during the national anthem, with a storm of deafening boos. The biggest buzzkill in American history definitely did so last night for Knicks fans at Game 3. Game 4 is tomorrow night at 8:30, and Donald Trump is not expected to attend. We're gearing up for our 16th anniversary celebration in Dallas. Save the date. It's 1 week from tonight, Tuesday, June 16th. See the link in the show notes to reserve your spot. Our good friends Pamela Pearson and Tom Hogan, Eric Johnson and Dr. Mark Parker, Howard Cleon, the Honorable Yasmin Simon, Charles Zeller, the Democratic candidates of the 15th Court of Appeals, Alex Andrade, Will Judy, the Honorable Julie Johnson, the aforementioned Honorable Dick Levine, Nancy Sanders, Marjorie Loeb, Mark Melton, Sarah Peretta and Jason Smith, Jerry Yoss, and the rest of our sponsors are appreciated very, very much. Our live events are a huge way that we keep doing what we do here at Progress Texas. By sponsoring and attending our live events, you're helping us continue our important work during this crucial election year, and you're having a great time doing so. Learn how to support and join us live at ProgressTexas.org. While you're there, grab the merch to match your values at our web store. You're going to find Y'all Means All gear for Pride Month, our newly released Humans Against Abbott, and our highly popular Resist shirts, stickers, and buttons. Hit the web store at ProgressTexas.org to support your favorite podcast network today. That's the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch for this Tuesday, June 9th, 2026. Links to all these original stories can be found in our show notes. When lies in Texas are well funded by the far right, your support for fact-based reporting is needed and appreciated. I'm Chris Mosier. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great day. We'll catch you again right here tomorrow morning.